Has California finally found a way to prevent non-gun owners from becoming gun owners? Have they finally figured out how to make it so difficult that people will just give up and not even try? Well, pricing people out seems to be their latest tactic. So let's take a look. AB 1187 was introduced. And I didn't think that this was going to be a big year for anti-gun legislation, but man, it sure has turned into a big year for gun legislation. So what are they trying to do? And that's always the challenge. I always try to think, well, what are they going to do next? You know, the big piece, there's AB 1187 does a few things, but the big thing it does, and they're not real clear on specifics yet, but basically to buy a gun, you have to complete an 8-hour course. And an 8-hour course is, Alicia, how much is an 8-hour course these days?
Oh, it depends on where you're going, but I'd say anywhere from $200 to $400.
$200 to $400
at the very least.
You know, slapped on your the price of a gun. You know, this hurts people. There are a lot of people out there that I think are trying to decide, hey, is this the way I want to go? There are a lot of people out there that, frankly, have to save up just in order to afford a firearm. You know, our Not Me organization, we've actually helped people with grants and discounts, and so that they can actually afford self-defense. Well, putting an additional $200 to $400 and making sure that people have to take a day off work, you know, possibly or whatever, they have to spend 8 hours in a class, is going to ensure that fewer people are going to be able to effectively defend themselves. Now, there's also a piece of this within 60 days after bringing any firearm into the state, a personal firearm importer shall do the following: submit to the Department of Justice in a form and manner prescribed by the department, report including information concerning that individual, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, they're saying that if you bring a gun into California, that within 60 days you have to register it. That's already a thing.
Sorry, I would say it's already a thing.
That's already a law. I think the reason that they put this kind of stuff in there is they kind of do these softballs, you know, like, oh, well, gee, we just want people to register their firearm when they come into California. And then they don't have to talk about the really bad part, which is, oh, we want to charge everybody who wants to buy a gun an extra $200 to $400.
I'll say I'm not against training, but I don't like that they're requiring it.
Totally agree.
I would highly advise everybody get that training, but it's wrong for them to require it.
I totally agree. And, you know, the reality is, and we talked about this, this kind of goes back to the open carry thing, you know, or, you know, when we were talking about open carry, or when we were talking about no training for CCWs, when we were talking about open carry, whatever. The reality is it's not the government's place to restrict and require, and, you know, the government's place is to defend your individual rights, your natural rights, your God-given rights, your, you know, nature's God, whatever. Your natural rights are yours. The government's job is not to step in and tell you how you can't exercise those rights. The government's job is to protect those rights, and this is the exact opposite.
Gotta stay in their lane.
Yeah. What do you think, Dakota?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm 100% on board with with any sort of training that somebody wants to do. And if you want to recommend a friend get a training or something, that's great. But for the government to require it is crazy, especially because we're already putting so many additional costs on law-abiding citizens who want to get firearms. We've got the 11% tax. We've got all these other things, all these hoops to jump through already. And then if you think about CCW classes, all of the costs associated with that. So just to exercise your right to carry a gun and protect your life, you're already probably getting close to $1,000 in the hole, for maybe even more than that at this point, for a affordable firearm and the required training. So to add another $200 to $400 on it would definitely price people out. I think we've seen something similar to this in Illinois, and they did see decreases in gun purchases based on that, and it's unfortunate. No doubt.
So that's AB 1187. We don't know a lot. You can find the text online. It could change. You know, it might change a dozen times before they vote on it in the fall. So what do you do now? Well, you have to get involved, you know, and by the time a bill is introduced, there's very little you can do. You can call your assembly folks, you can call your state senators, voice your opinion. But honestly, by the time somebody makes it to Sacramento, they've already got their mind made up. So what we want you to do is get involved now. Help us create an even bigger community, a bigger Second Amendment community. You know, we're teaching people to shoot. We're, manning tabletops. We're getting involved in different campaigns. That's how you prevent this. By the time it's introduced in Sacramento, it's almost too late. There's so little you can do to be effective. So don't just sit there and watch AB 1187 for the next 8 months and, hey, they just crossed this out and they just dotted this I and they just changed this, and that's not activism. Keep an eye on it. We'll keep you informed by all means, but, get involved. Help us get the right people elected. Help us prevent this bad stuff from happening. So that's AB 1187. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm Michael from Gun Owners Radio. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and make a comment. Help us out. Go to gunownersradio.com. Thanks for watching.